welcome to this official review for the Tau Codex. New codex that's come out. It's been out for a while now, but it's the Tau. They've been redone. Exciting time for collecting a Tau force, and I thought I'd do this review because my Tau army is finished. So look out in the future for a Tau army overview and tactica video. That's where you'll see the whole army, you'll see why I've chosen each unit, overall battle plan and strategy, and that'll be a real central video for anyone that collects Tau or is interested in collecting them. But here we're going to look at the actual Tau Codex. It's the third Tau Codex that I've used, the previous two and then now this new one. Production quality as far outshines any previous codexes. Nice job. Games Workshop have done lovely artwork. I'm just going to get into the nitty gritty of it. Full colour now for the codexes, all the way through, and nice strong theme, lovely artwork and stuff. It's just the history of the Tau Empire there. And there are some things in this codex that I really like. So, just coming up to the rules now. First part I want to talk about is the Warlord traits table, and really like it. These Warlord traits I think are absolutely superb, and especially if you're taking a Tau Army Commander. I'm going to give that away. I'm definitely taking an Army Commander Crisis Battle Suit, and can't wait to start rolling on this table in games. Some of the Warlord traits here are absolutely superb. I mean, a unit gains a Skyfire special rule, absolutely brilliant. If you deep strike, you don't scatter, is another one. Great potential there. I think any of the results are pretty good. That one result there is not so good, but there's some nice ones in there. So that really that's geared towards encouraging you to take in the Crisis Battlesuit Commander, and that's what I've done. So he'll be in the army and he'll be in charge. Supporting fire is a nice new upgrade for Tau now, so that if someone charges a unit, then other units within 6 inches can fire Overwatch as well. It's handy if you've got a gun line and other units in support as well. So nice dimension added to the Tau there. You've got your rules for drones. Got a question, I haven't really found an answer to it, and I don't know who to believe on this one. And now, as this video is being made, 7th edition is out, but the question is, can I fire marker lights at flyers? Can I fire the marker lights at flyers? And if I am allowed to do that, and get hits on 6s obviously for snap fire, can I then use those hits to upgrade other units' snapfire shots to a high ballistic skill? Usually it's 6s to hit ballistic skill 1, but can I use the marker light hits to push it up to ballistic skill 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever? I'm sure the answer is out there, because the answer to that question will have an impact on my forces for sure. But drones here, toughness 4 they've kept, which is nice. So that makes the toughness, that gets rid of that majority toughness question. The drones will have the same toughness as the crisis teams. So commanders, the first one. Nice new miniature they brought out. A little bit bigger than the standard XV8, so that's nice. They make him separate. And the stats here, absolutely superb. Leadership 10, 4 attacks. Initiative 3, 4 wounds, not 3 wounds, 4 wounds. Toughness 4, strength 4. Ballistic skill 5, weapon skill 4. Good stat line for that miniature, so he's definitely in my force. Very happy to have him in. Tau Efrol. Again, the points cost for him is cheap. Not really interested in the stats. I'm not interested in him doing much in the game. as far as using those stats is concerned. It's the abilities that he has that I'm interested in. So you've got that failure is not an optional rule, but it's not as bad as it used to be in previous codexes. I remember playing against Tau once, and my opponent, almost his entire force ran off the table when I shot his F rule because he failed all the compulsory leadership tests. But it's not so bad now, which is good. And that also, he gets these invocation of the elements, and they are absolutely superb. All units within 12 are going to get this. You can fire an extra shot, you can gain the stubborn rule, you can get feel no pain 6+, or you can fire snapshots after running. You choose. Those are brilliant little powers to have in your force, but you need to build an army, I think, around the abilities that he has. If he grants that ability to just 1 or 2 units, then it's not so good. But if your whole core force is built around that, if you have a big gun line and you give them these powers each turn, then that F-roll can be highly effective unit choice. So then, moving on, Cadre Fireblades. It's nice. It's a nice figure they've done for it. And the special ability he has, volley fire, an extra shot. It's good. But the way I see it in the force here is that his ability he can give to his unit, a unit, whereas his abilities he can give to everybody within 12. So that's his unit and a whole load of other units if you want. So I see the potential for the Ethereal as better than the Fireblade. That's just my take on it. Fire Warriors, they haven't really tampered with these much at all. They've got Photon Grenades as standard, which is great. They've got good armor save, excellent infantry weapon. So Fire Warriors are good, always like them. Love the sculpting on them as well, the style. It was actually Fire Warriors, the sculpting of the Fire Warriors that got me back into Warhammer 40,000 after I'd left it for quite a while. So impressive models, and enjoyed painting those and using them in games. So Fire Warriors will be a key part of this new Tau Force when you see its review coming out soon. So then we've got Pathfinders. They've really gone to town with these. You've got your standard Pathfinders in there, but you've got other weapons that you can give them, and all these little extra drones that you can upgrade them with as well. I've come to the conclusion that you can end up spending a whole load of points on your Pathfinders, absorbing loads of points, and the abilities that these extra drones give you, not that impressed by them. So if I'm going to take Pathfinders, my take on it is just to take no upgrades and just have the bare minimal, which is a standard Pathfinder with the marker light, and that's about it, just to keep your points cost down. Devilfish is alright, hasn't really changed, pretty good transport, just average really, there's nothing too special about it. Then the Crisis teams, again, hasn't really changed, not much of a change there at all. Stats are pretty much the same, just the points cost seems to have dropped a little bit. XV88 broadside team, now this has changed. The previous XV88s, it was just the railgun upgrade. They're not railguns now. They are heavy rail rifles, which is strength 8 AP1. It's not quite as good. And you've also got the option now of this high yield missile pod. I've ummed and ahed about it. I haven't been sure what to do. Thought about it for a long time, and in the end, partly because I like the strength 8 AP1, I like the AP1 value to it, and also the fact I just like the look of them. I've actually gone for the heavy rail rifles. But as to whether that has been a wise decision, we will have to see as the battle reports take place. So that's them. Stealth teams, they're alright. I'm always wary of infiltrating Tau. They get picked on, they get blown away, Even stealth teams with all the extra cover and stuff, the enemy's just going to target them and get rid of them, and they're not particularly armed very well with like very long range weapons or whatever. So stealth teams seem to be expensive. I generally don't take them, they just get blown away. I don't really have much of a function in my force. The new Riptide's come out, brilliant sculpt of a model, really enjoyed putting that one together. So it's a Tau monstrous creature. I think it could do pretty well in combat as well. As a jetpack monstrous creature, it's pretty fast moving, so it's pretty good for sitting back, firing at long range, and then swooping in on enemy objectives later on in the game. Nice weapon that you get with it. So you can give it the ion accelerator. We'll go into weapons a bit later on, but that's a nice upgrade, good weapon. But the point is, it's a fast-moving monstrous creature for the Tau, so a good addition for the Tau army, I reckon. If you can get it in 25% cover, which is quite easy to do, then that is a tough target for the opponent to take out. And then they've introduced this Nova reactor. It's a good idea. The only thing I don't like about it is the fact that you have to roll 3+, and a 1 or a 2 you're going to lose a wound, which seems a bit volatile for Tau technology, but that's the way they've done it. But the upgrades for it are pretty cool, and you get to choose what one you want to use there, so it adds a bit of versatility to the Riptide. You can protect it with drones, which is really cool, but quite expensive in points to do that. Sniper drones, didn't really bother with them in previous editions of the Codex, and now I think they're even worse than they were before, so I haven't really bothered with those. Piranhas, really, I would see as only good if they've got the fusion blaster, so I haven't really gone into them this time. I have got them. Now, for the flyers for Tau, really debated about this one, whether to have a flyer or not. Wasn't too keen on the sculpting. I wish they'd kind of done a barracuda or a tiger shark or something similar for the Tau, like a proper fighter, but this one's more of a... not sure on the style of it. And then the armour's pretty poor, 11 front, side, rear, and the ballistic skill's low on both of these. So I like the idea of the interceptor drones. Thought that would be quite fun to detach those and then put them like on like wire bases, so the wire goes right up and you can have them floating about chasing other flyers, but didn't go for those in the end. The Tau air power seems to be a bit weak. I've got a feeling that if they produce a new Codex in the future, they might produce a new Tau fighter, perhaps. That would be a good idea. Hammerhead gunships, I've always liked them. Not always popular in armies, but I think they're pretty good and quite useful in the game, especially now that these are the ones that can carry the rail gun. That's strength 10 AP1 tank killer. Skyray, not as important in previous codexes, but now with the advent of Skyfire and flyers, the Skyray has become a much more popular model. And if I was going to do an anti-air defense, I would choose a Skyray over and above the Tau air power. That's just my take on it. I've got a couple of these ready, so I might be able to use them in the games. Kroot, I've always liked Kroot. A lot of people underrate them, but they're cheap enough in points, and they can you can use them as a screen in front of your horse. Don't want to give too much away about my battle plan for this Tau force, but Kroot are in. They are going to be a part of this new Tau army that's ready to go. Vespids, they've improved them, I think. They've given them a 4+ save. Their initiative's very high, but that points cost is still quite high. I have got them, but I don't think I'll be using them in this force. Drone squadrons, wouldn't really bother with those. And then Commander Farsight, that's if you want to go into the Farsight enclaves. Nice miniature they've done, really good stat line and upgrades for him. So I can imagine a Tau army with Farsight would be a lot of fun to put together. Commander Shadow Sun. That's another good option. Quite high in points when you start adding the drones and stuff. But quite good fun to use. I've enjoyed using her in Apocalypse games. But a standard commander is what I choose generally as my army commander. Odinvar, or whatever his name is. Wouldn't really use that one. Just a standard Ethereal would do fine. Long Strike, nice upgrade. Whether it's worth the points, I'm not sure. You get Tank Hunter, which is really handy. You get that Ballistic Skill 5, which is really good. And then you get Preferred Enemy Imperial Guard. So I like Long Strike in the Force, but we'll just have to see. Dark Strider. Seems alright. The upgrades he gets are okay, but not significant enough for me to want to take him in a Force. Again, nice miniature that they've done for him. They've just introduced a few new extra characters, which is a really good idea. It just adds a bit of character to the Tau overall. Another new one here, and she. The philosophy for my Tau is to stay out of combat. So, as far as games which are trying to address the issue of combat units for the Tau, it doesn't really worry me because I'm going to avoid combat 90% of the time. Weapons really haven't changed too much. What they have introduced is this idea of Nova Charge, where you can push up the strength of a weapon. There's a cost to it. You can damage yourself, gets hot raw or whatever, Nova Charge reactor, or Nova reactor. But you might want to do that in games to push out that extra power, upgrade the weapon at that risk. It makes it exciting to play. So they've done it here for the burst weapons, the heavy burst cannon. You can really upgrade that or push that up to Nova Charge. Is a good one. And then just looking at the other weapons here, Crude Rifle has changed. It doesn't give you that extra strength in close combat, which is a shame. Crew aren't quite as good as they used to be. Still just enough to get into the Force, but it's a shame they lost that strength 4 and the extra attack as well, I think. So that's a significant blow to the crew there. You can give them the upgrade to sniper rifles, handy enough if you feel you're going to struggle against monstrous creatures, but I mean, for the Tau you should have enough high power, low AP weapons in your Force anyway. Ion weapons, a whole load of new stuff, which is nice new weapons to use. And you've got the Ion Accelerator here for your Riptide. If you stick it on Nova Charge, then it's nice long range, Strength 9, AP 2, large blast, and its ordnance, so it's nice weapon. And then with this ordnance you're rolling 2d6 choosing the best. Excellent. I mean, you could target 2 tanks with that blast, the way with the new blast rules work. So nice weapon there. The other ion weapons are good, and just the high yield missile pod's nice. Strength 7, AP 4, heavy 4, so it's 4 shots. Smart missile systems are nice now. You can fire at targets that are out of your line of sight and it ignores cover. It's great for mopping up the last bits of units that are left over. Nice for hunting down Imperial Guard and so on. There's just little upgrades and things here. You have to be careful with the upgrades here. There's so many little upgrades you can give your Force, you start to eat into your points. So it's been a temptation to use a whole load of these, but really I've tried just to put most of my points over into the actual miniatures themselves and build up quite a big Force. I think a larger Tau Force will do better than a small and very specialised one. But we'll have to see as the games are played out if most of them are the same as they used to be. But there are some good ones in there. Just your armour there. battle suits come with multi-trackers as standard, so you're going to get your 2 shots, you don't have to pay for that, and you get your Black Sun filters as well, all inbuilt. So it's handy stuff there for all of the battle suits. So battle suit armor's got that advantage. Vehicle upgrades, disruption pod, I still like it. Vehicle with disruption pod gets +1 cover save. So you stick your hammerhead in cover, 25%, 4+, then +1, you're free up cover save. And you don't even have to move. So that'll make the hammerheads a nightmare, I think, to play against. Nice defensive unit there. That's about it. The others, not really into those, just the disruption pod's the key one there. Signature systems, nice idea. There's a couple there that stood out for me. I liked the idea of. The Iridium battle suit, if I have the spare points, I'll do it for the commander. I'll give him a +1 toughness and a 2+ armor save. And it doesn't restrict him in any way. Brilliant, brilliant upgrade for him, having a toughness 5 commander. It's really good. And then this one here, the Pure Tide Engram Neurochip. Start of the turn, you can choose one of these rules: counterattack, furious charge, monster hunter, stubborn, or tank hunter. Nice one, nice handy upgrade to have there. It's another interesting upgrade to have in your force. So again, so they just give you the artwork here. Nice. I'm glad they've redone the Pathfinders. They've expanded them, they've added the extra drones and stuff. Nice set, really, really nice. Nice sculpt, nice weapons, and these little extra bits. And the idea of that can go in the hammerhead is really, really good. I like what they've done there. Just for game-wise though, I'm not really going to use those, I think. And just coming through, there's a few Tau colour schemes there. A couple of new ones that they've done, this sort of greeny colour. There's my lists. There's a Tau force. Nice balance now for the Tau. For the first time you've got your mercenaries, your standard troops, your crisis suits, your tanks, your monstrous creature, and you've got your flying out. You're looking at almost the entire lot in plastic. So Tau army's well and truly sorted out now. I've done a good job. Just coming into the just the way the codex works now, you've got the points cost all down here, which is good. So there's your just the cost there. 50 points for the ethereal. Cheap as and no upgrades at all, just 50 points, and you grant your gun line all of those abilities. I think he's an excellent choice there. You see the Fireblade, 60 points, it's 10 points more expensive, and he can only give the ability that he has to just the unit that he's with. Then a commander, 85 points, then you start your upgrades from there. You can keep the points cost down for him and have yourself a good unit. Plus, if I stick him with one of my crisis teams, he's going to give them a leadership 10, which is really handy. Fire warriors now are 9 points each, and that's including the cost of the photon grenades. So I think fire warriors are a good deal now. You're getting a 4+ save, and you're getting a strength 5 infantry weapon for 9 points each. You can't go wrong. So I would take them, I'd max them out. You get 6 and you can take an extra 6, so you can go up to 12. Take units of 10 or 12, I think is a good idea. Then the Kroot are now 6 points each, and that includes now their little armour save. They never used to get that, used to have to pay for it. So they've got some upgrades, and the points cost has come down, but they've lost some key abilities. So Kroot I'm not sure about, but I do like to have them in the force. And the crisis teams are pretty much the same points cost as they used to be in my army, perhaps a slight reduction, not too much. Riptide, 180 points isn't bad. It starts to get expensive when you add the missile drones. To take 2 of those shielded missile drones is 50 points. I think that's a lot of points just for 2 drones. As mentioned earlier, I go on to talking about the cost here of Pathfinders. As soon as you start to add all these little upgrades, the cost of that unit starts to go up and up and up. And then when you give it a Devilfish, then you're looking at a very expensive unit. So what I've done with the Pathfinders, they are 11 points each. So you're getting a miniature with all those stats for 11 points, with the which is good enough, but he's getting a marker line, which if you look at the cost of upgrading it for other units, 11 points for a miniature for a model with a marker line is very, very cheap indeed. So I think one of the units I'm taking is just 10 Pathfinders, and that's it. And that's kept the cost right down. If I do like 8 Pathfinders, and then I start giving them the drones, and then changing them to iron rifles, rare rifles, and then I give them the Devilfish, you're looking at a 200 point unit. And if you've spent so much, I know for a fact these guys are going to be targeted. So what I'd do is just take a larger unit as possible and expect casualties, but if I lose them, then I haven't lost too much points wise. There's just the other units there. There's the, I think this is quite expensive for the flyers here. 160 points before you give it any upgrades, and it's front 11 side and rear 10, and only ballistic skill 3. Broadside teams, 65 points, and you can give them some upgrades. Expensive, but I think if you choose the right weapons for them and give them the right upgrades, and protection is key for these, then I think that is a unit that can perform well and can dominate the battlefield, and has a lot of survivability to it. Hammerhead gunship, I think the points cost of that has come right down, which is good. And then if you've got the spare points, long strike would be a nice upgrade to have on one of those. Skyray, straightforward, cheap enough in points as well, no complaints there. And then with the new codex they do now, you've got your Warlord traits and special rules all summarised at the back, and you've got your summarisations at the back here as well, and all of your stats and weapons stats there at the back. So nice layout to the new codexes that the Games Workshop have done, a lot more logical. And the Tau have been redone, and the new units they've been given has helped create a really nice balanced force, plenty of options, more personalised options as well as far as the new characters and things are concerned. So exciting stuff. I think it's exciting codex. Tau Army is an exciting one to get into. More options than ever before. Really nice miniatures, nice diversity to the force, and I look forward to using them in games. And I think potentially here you've got a force that can do very well indeed. But we'll have to see the army that I put together, whether the philosophy and the strategy that I've come up with will work. We will have to see. So that's the review for the codex. Look out for this Tau army being used in battle reports, and keep a lookout for a full army review and tactica for the new Tau army. And then leave your comments underneath. There'll be experienced Tau players no doubt will leave their comments and what units they like on there as well. If you have questions about the codex, then post those as well, and I'm sure people watching the videos will let you know what the answer is. There's a lot of experienced Tau players out there. So thanks for watching this codex review, and I hope it's been a help to you if you're collecting Tau or you're thinking of collecting them, and keep looking out for Tau videos in the future. So thanks for watching, and tune in next time.